The Geneva Conventions explicitly protect humanitarian and medical workers, yet WHO staff are being detained and their facilities shelled without consequence. The double standard is pretty blatant too. When Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, sanctions and military intervention followed almost immediately. When Libya was accused of targeting civilians in 2011, NATO launched a bombing campaign within weeks. But when Israel, a Western-backed state, carries out operations that have been deemed in law as plausibly genocidal, the response has been ongoing silence. This hypocrisy has not been lost amongst the global South nations, which increasingly see the UN as just a Western-dominated institution that protects its allies while condemning its rivals. And they're right, because that's how the UN was literally built. Gaza is not the first time the UN has failed to prevent mass atrocities, but it may be the most blatant. In Rwanda in 1994, the UN ignored repeated warnings from its own commanders, allowing 800,000 people to be slaughtered in just 100 days. In Srebrenica in 1995, UN peacekeepers stood by as Bosnian Serb forces massacred 8,000 Muslim men and boys, despite the area being designated a UN safe zone. Both of these failures were later acknowledged as stains on the organisation's legacy, yet the UN still acted with at least a pretense of neutrality. What makes Gaza different is that the UN is fully aware of the atrocities. It has its own agencies on the ground reporting them daily, and yet it remains paralysed. Worse, its staff are being directly targeted. Over 200 UN employees, mostly from UNRWA, have been killed in Gaza since October 2023, making this the deadliest conflict for UN staff in history. The siege of WHO staff in Deir al-Balah is not just another failure to protect civilians, it is the UN again failing to protect itself. And this arguably makes Gaza the organisation's Srebrenica moment, the point at which its legitimacy as a guardian of international law effectively dies. In the face of UN paralysis, a new coalition has emerged to challenge the status quo, though, the Hague Group.